This is Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing. You are watching Sporting Icons. You don't need to be anywhere else.
Right, so Alexander Krasuk, who of course is advisor, manager to Alexander Usyk, he's put out on social media, linked to this in the description box for you, that there is in fact a rematch clause in the Joshua Usyk fight. Now, pretty much what he says in a nutshell is that two warriors coming together, two gentlemen, all that kind of stuff, see you in the rematch as well. Okay, now what that means is that for them guys to get a deal over the line, Usyk has agreed to a rematch clause. So if he beats Joshua, there is a rematch clause. Of course, if Joshua wins, would there be one? Highly unlikely. But you never know, right? You never know. But it's unlikely. I think that this rematch clause is in the event if he defeats Anthony Joshua. Now, automatically, a lot of people will say, well, Joshua, he shouldn't be allowed to do that because he's mandatory. Now, firstly, you are allowed to do that, but the mandatory, in this case, Alexander Usyk, doesn't have to agree to it. Okay? He doesn't have to. He's not legally obliged to sign the contract for a rematch or anything, but people do because obviously they're getting offered a bit more money for the initial fight. That's how people agree to rematch clauses. Now, it's nothing unusual. Joshua's he had a rematch clause with obviously his other mandatories in Alexander Povetkin. He would have had one with Carlos Takam, with Kubrat Pulev, and so forth. But it's not unusual, and it's not just exclusive to Joshua. Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, they had rematch clause in the first fight, if you remember. Didn't matter who won. And Fury wasn't even champion. But yet he had a rematch clause in there. On the rematch, also, they had a rematch clause. No matter who won that fight, there was going to be a third fight. Yeah, again, Fury was not champion, but he got a rematch clause. When Fury fought Vladimir Klitschko, there's supposed to be a rematch, right? Because there's a rematch clause, even though Tyson Fury was the WBO mandatory to Vladimir Klitschko. So the champion will offer the challenger, the mandatory, a bit more money for the first fight. Because obviously, when it comes to a mandatory, and if it has to go to a purse bid, for example, then the mandatory challenger will get a set amount. Depending on whereabouts it is in the world, depends on how much percentage it is. I don't quite know why it works that way, but it does. In certain territories, it could be like 40%. In others, it's 25%. Okay, so quite what his actual percentage offer would have been to fight Joshua here in the UK, I don't know. But he would have been offered a little bit more money to agree to a rematch clause. Okay, so there you go. And that comes from the horse's mouth in Alexander Krasuk, who is, of course, Alexander Usyk's manager / advisor, all that kind of good stuff. So there you have it. Is there any surprise? No, of course not. Should it happen? Well, again, that's entirely up to you, whether or not that's how you think it should happen. But as I said before, officially, no, it doesn't have to happen. Usyk didn't have to sign a rematch clause. He could have just took the split, the percentage. That's what he could have done. And said, no, I'm not interested in any more money. I beat you. That's it. I'm moving on. He could have done that, but he didn't. Money. That's all it's down to, right? Anyway, drop your thoughts below. Click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you on the next video.